Alright, what's up yins guys? Time for another video. And I'm going to do this video with a little bit of wit and wisdom in mind. And of course I got a disclaimer too. I absolutely believe in the right to bear arms, but I also believe don't do nothing against the law. Don't do anything like Bowers. Don't do anything like that Christian school shooting that the one trans kid did. Not saying they're all like at it. I said before in videos that anybody, any other affectional preference, if they see somebody doing that, I know they're not all like that. They should distance themselves from that shit and say we're not all like that. But anyway, I'm gonna get some wit and wisdom with this here. And this is kind of about like right to bear arms and stuff like that. It's not really per se, I don't want to mislead anybody in this video, but I want to compare it to, okay, the era when Donald Trump was still president. He was put under pressure and he caved to the pressure to ban bump stocks for guns. But this video ain't all completely about guns, but I said I got a disclaimer. I said I believe in the right to bear arms. Do it responsibly. Don't do shit that's against the law. Don't say shit that's against the law. Don't do anything like the NFAC or don't do anything about any. But anyway, I'm comparing this. There's a truth, like comparing bump stocks to what I used to do as an occupation. I'll compare it to nail guns. And this is also it can be the responsible and safe use of tools like nail guns that you don't want to accidentally hurt anybody or hurt yourself. But I'm going to say in this video a little talk about different kinds of nail guns. Some of them are air driven, right? And some of them are rechargeable, and you put the CO2 cartridge and you have like rechargeable batteries in it. Some of them you put the nail magazines in, and like I should of course I'm going to show you pictures along with this video, and you guys can do your own research. This could be enlightening and have some wit to it. Any guys maybe have some experience in this stuff, or if you ever wind up in a job someplace other than the occupation you do, you know, through an agency, this would be for you as wit, wisdom, and safety. And reason why I kept seeing on the news about the banning of bump stocks, and Donald Trump was he caved to the pressure and banned them. But every time I heard about that on the news, it reminded me at the same time of when I used to build a lot of crates, like say for many years. One of my earlier jobs where I landed a damn good job with the company after being picked up from an agency. A lot of my duties were building crates. I did it for like many years, and that was a pretty damn good job, above minimum wage, without being union, with profit sharing bonuses. And that was pretty good at the time for somebody that has long hair and gets into a job like that, and being in Western Pennsylvania. That's a hell of a feat for some people. That can be so in where you live too. But anyway, I'd bring Machine Gun Kelly into this too, because it was funny, because you know the rapper Machine Gun Kelly, I seen him on Ridiculousness, right? But way years before Ridiculousness ever came around, and way before I ever heard who Machine Gun Kelly is, way back, this was like 20 plus years ago, they used to call me Machine Gun Kelly. There was a dude that used to call me Machine Gun Kelly. I'm getting to it, okay. So, just in case, so nobody thinks that I was stealing, don't go telling the rapper Machine Gun Kelly that I was going and stealing his name. But they did call me Machine Gun Kelly, like something like in like the 1990s, and I had this. Anyway, the reason why I say that about bump stocks and machine guns and guns, I'm making it, you know, and metaphorically and wit and wisdom too, because anyway, I'll tell you how in some cases certain nail guns, whether you're trying not, kind of will shoot like a machine gun when you're doing the job, right? And how I'd explain this to you. I don't want to make the video too long about the different kind of crates you would make, okay? But I'd say, anyway, like I said too, a couple different types of nail guns that I had experience using, and I have used. And there was another type that I bought for personal use when I was helping renovate in a parent's house way years ago. Like I said, there's the air-driven pneumatic, where you're instead of just an air compressor like your house or garage, a workplace I worked for, it had a one big air compressor for the whole warehouse, and the air pipes running through the whole place, different stations where people would build crates for whatever they're building. So, oh, and there's also some humor, I would say, too, before getting to the point. You know, when we'd get the new shipment of wood to build our crates, you know, we run out of wood and the new shipment comes. We used to have this joke, almost a Beavis and Butthead like joke. Yeah, the shipment of wood comes before 12 noon. It's considered morning wood. But anyway, and the reason why I brought up like the different types, you would have I would show you pictures in the video. I'll have to download and find some. So in case you guys don't know, you know what I'm talking about. You have the ones with the magazine that you'd slip in and, you know, lock and load. And there was another type that was also pneumatic, that instead of the magazine, the nails, it would be a spindle of nails. The gun looked like the nail gun was shaped just like a Tommy gun. It had a drum, and instead of a magazine, the nails would be in a spiral around, and they'd be wrapped, and you open up the thing, you know, the drum, pop that in there, and in some of the ones when you got the shipment of the nails, each roll of nails would have like a rubber band around it. You pop off, but you take the end, put it in a drum and stick it in there. And occasionally you would get a bad spindle of nails if the manufacturer maybe wrapped the spindle too tight, and the gun would get jammed. But anyway, getting to the point about the bump stock and the Machine Gun Kelly thing. Yeah, what we would do to build a certain crate, to build the bottom of the crate. I'm going to tell you this without, you know, it would be an entire long-ass video if I told you how different types of crates were made. You'd have long nails and to make the sides of the crate. But when you made the bottom of the crate, a way we did it, okay, sometimes spaced apart rudders, and sometimes totally solid, you know, and have a line drawn so you know, secure the bottom of the crate. How we did this, where at the work floor, right, there was big metal plates. I don't want to say 1/4 inch steel, but a pretty good gauge steel, not 1/2 inch, maybe 1/4 inch or a little less of that, would cover the floor in like a big space, like maybe bigger than this porch I have. That's how we did it, right? So you would have the bottom of the crate on the floor, like after maybe before or after you built the frame, however you did it. But a lot of times, you know, what we would do is, you know, have the bottom rungs and then the long runners up top, flip the crate over, and it's sitting right on the metal floor, if you will, right? So the finishing touch to nail in the bottom of the crate, we had like, you know, the one nail gun I would use for the longer nails, and the Tommy gun thing I explained to you, shorter nails. And we would be shooting the nails, securing it. A lot of people would be going boom, 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 boom. But I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to it. So anyway, what would cause the machine gun or bump stock effect in a nail gun would be like, you know, when you got the sheet metal on the floor, right? For a base, you'd walk, there'd be a little warp to it, like if you walk on it or something. Or just enough of a subtle, because the cement concrete floor isn't totally perfect. And maybe a little bit of a bounce to the wooden crate or something, I don't know, that metal. And it'd be a bounce, right? And of course, nail guns, if you hit a hard spot like a knot in a wood, it'd be a kick, and you got to be careful too. That's another thing, and use it responsibly, and, you know, don't nail your foot. But you'd stand with your feet away from the thing. Everybody else would go boom, boom, boom. But a couple of us, especially me with this one, I got people started. You discover this, the bump stock effect, you know, if you would talk about it in slow-mo, you shoot it, it bounces back up, and you're holding the nail gun, and you just ride along with the nail gun and do it faster. So I got the name Machine Gun Kelly because at the time, I used this to my advantage to build the crates. Oh, and another thing to explain, to give you an idea about this. The reason why we had the metal plate, when you shoot like downward with the nails, the plate was on purpose so that when the nail shot down there, hit the plate and curled up, the nail would curl. And then when the nail shoots into to build the bottom and like secure the bottom, like when you have the long runners up, you know, the small runners this way, that's what you want. Because if you ever try to take apart a crate, when if you ever had to with that, that's on there pretty damn good. You couldn't get that apart and pull the nails out without breaking the wood. So that's why they had the metal plate. So you'd have a bounce to it on this particular nail gun that was like the Tommy gun. As long as the spindle of nails was manufactured right and not wound too tight, when you load it into the drum, and you'd be like, just as long as you have your line drawn so you don't miss the main runner on the bottom, it would, instead of other people going boom, 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 or I'd be like, brrr, you know. People used to kind of get a kick out of that, and they kind of called me Machine Gun Kelly. And this was back in the 90s, I don't know, 96, 97, or 98, or around the area, because I worked at this particular place, and a lot of my duties were building crates. I don't know, from about 92 or 93 to 2002 or so, or 92 to 2002, give or take. That was about like 10 years before they cut out profit sharing bonuses. And like other jobs in Western Pennsylvania, when you're out of minimum wage and profit sharing bonuses, they don't last forever. But anyway, so my other, while you're on it too, you know, I talked about bump stocks and stuff like that. That reminds me another type of nail gun that I mentioned, if you got this far in this video, that I didn't use at a workplace, but I bought to help do drywall in the parents' house. And it was a type of a nail gun where you have the nail, there's a plastic thing on there, and it would be the nail gun was like, it was like a muzzle loader. There was a plastic thing near the point, because so that you can stick it in the muzzle, and there was a 22 caliber shell in there that you would press it against the wall. And reason what this gun was for, like, you can't really do it for bricks unless you, because brick is too hard. But if your house was made out of block, and this has other applications, well, it depends what type of nail you buy. But the house was made out of block, and if you wanted a drywall and you wanted to put insulation in an old house, right, there's nothing to nail to, so you would put wooden strips on the wall. And when a house is made out of block, I bought this particular item, and then there is very safe. Oh, and another thing, if you got this far in this video, you do, or I would say you better damn well wear ear protection when you shoot this in your house, because it's like definitely a must to have ear protection. Like I said, it's like a 22 caliber thing, and shoots nails in the wall. And when you have a block house, I used this, I bought this to, you know, up and down runners, you know, measured apart, where you have your, you know, styrofoam type, you know, that sheet insulation, not the fiberglass Pink Panther insulation, you know, that was the styrofoam. Matter of fact, talking in parentheses, I worked and did works in construction sites and job assignments. I seen this being done. But anyway, doing it in my house, you know how wide the insulation is. You put the strips, and hammer and nail wouldn't work out too well. It would be too. This thing did the job. Just the board, ever nail the board to the wall, and then you put your insulation between the runners, and then you had those runners to nail your drywall to. That's what you know what I mean. But this stuff had other applications. Well, people had these guns too. I think that they were driven other ways, like this gun, I think, for building roofs. I think I worked a job assignments there was people speaking Spanish, and there was Amish people, and there was people with nail guns doing roofs. And then I was going to the inside of the construction sites doing different stuff, getting rid of all the stuff, doing what I'm told. But anyway, yeah, so my experience with that, I'd be stressing too that if you ever had to use one of those outside of workplace, other than the pneumatic gun, that you don't have experience. Say, I'm saying I had experience with the pneumatic driven and different things like that, and what a nail gun will do as far as a bump stock type of thing. But then at the same time, you know, outside the workplace, I used this other type of nail gun that, yeah, you better use ear protection, because the thing will make your ears ring, put it that way. Parents' house had the original old plaster that when it falls off, it's like a piece of damn rock. That old, I don't know any of you guys younger than me or older than me or same age with the houses, the plaster and the houses were made of. Some, anyway, parents' house that used to be my grandma's house was made out of this block. That's what I used. So anyway, it's a dangerous item, you know, use responsibly and use the proper safety gear. Because like I said, unlike anything like a firearm, you have something that's for construction purposes. You buy at Lowe's or Home Depot that is a 22 caliber shell for nailing boards to a wall. Not illegal to buy, you know, it's a work related item, but it'll hurt you or somebody else if you don't use it right, you know what I mean? But it's like, but I'm just saying that as extra, telling you that since I was talking about this mixed subject, if you're getting anything out of this, that what a nail gun would do, I'm saying it for humor purposes, but it's not a joke too. You could get hurt, and certain things that can do a bump stock just like a firearm. And the fact that, yeah, you do have nail guns for construction purposes that I have used that do take a 22 caliber shell to propel the nail. You know what I mean? Yeah, they work wonders for things that you can't just hammer a nail to it, and like a little faster too, like a house that's made out of block. And I'm basically talking about, you know, houses, the older houses, you didn't have that styrofoam insulation. You didn't, when they were built, they didn't have that kind of insulation. There was house made out of block, and there was just old time plaster, and that plaster got old, and if you wanted to insulate the house, tear down that old plaster, that's what you had to do. You had to nail runners to the wall with this type of gun or any other equipment you want to use, put your insulation in, then you got something to nail the drywall to, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, the point of this whole video is, yeah, a nail gun could do the same thing like the bump stock for wit and humor reasons, and just to, you know, be funny and talk about being safe at the same time. You know, telling you what's out there. And what was on my mind back in the day, they called me Machine Gun Kelly back in the day just because I figured this concept out, that a nail gun that loaded like a Tommy gun, that you can actually do that. You know, with the I don't want to say, I want that, with the right circumstances, yes, a nail gun can do that. So, excuse me. Oh yeah, sorry about the cough there at the end. I ain't editing that out. Over here in western Pennsylvania, we kind of got, the air is a little dry when you're talking for a long time, and that little cough, get something to drink there. My area, it's like the sun is like on this side of the street down there now, but cooler over here. The air's a little dry. We ain't getting no rain, I think, till next week. But yeah, you're out here talking, you don't have something to drink next to you, that kind of air gets a little bit black, you know, in the afternoon.